So in scenario number 2, we have a situation where a student is requesting accommodations due to a disability, specifically in this case, a learning disability. The student has requested accommodations within 1 week of an exam or a test. First of all, the thing to know about students with disabilities on campus is that there are federal, state laws and regulations that mandate that students with disabilities have reasonable accommodations. Specifically, these are the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 and the Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1974, which basically mandates the provision of reasonable accommodations for students with disabilities in post-secondary education. Accommodations requested by the student must be requested in a timely manner, although they can be requested at any time during the quarter or the academic year. In this case, the student has made the request within a week of the final exam, which is a reasonable amount of time for the student to be set up with reasonable accommodations. So the next step you want to do is to refer the student to our office, the Disability Resources for Students office, so they can interact with a counselor, provide medical documentation, and establish some reasonable accommodations that are approved through our office. One thing to always be aware of is before ever denying an accommodation request, please consult with our office for advice on how to proceed through the next steps. Once the request has been made, ideally you want to refer the student to our office, the Disability Resources for Students office, or DRS for short, so we can work with that student through the interactive process to establish accommodations, which typically comes from a history of the student, listening to what they have to say about their personal health issue, their disability, and also reviewing medical documentation so we can verify that indeed a disability exists. From there, we create a letter of accommodation, which is a primary tool that the student provides you or the professor that indicates we have verified the existence of a disability and also outlines the approved accommodations that have been approved through our office. So once the student has disclosed the disability or need for an accommodation, respect the confidentiality of that student's disability as well as accommodation needs. Do not share that information with anybody that does not need to know in accordance with FERPA, or the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. So one thing that is helpful to also have in the course syllabus is a statement at the bottom that indicates for students with disabilities if they have any questions about requesting accommodations to either approach you or to contact the Disability Resources for Students office. The Disability Resources for Students office is always available to take your calls with any questions or concerns you may have, so do not be afraid to contact us anytime.